there are being deployed nuclear submarines.
Oh, yeah. Well, we had to do that. We just have to be careful. And a threat was made, and we didn't think it was appropriate, so I have to be very careful. So I do that on the basis of safety for our people. A threat was made by a former president of Russia, and we're going to protect our people.
Are you ready? Are you open to negotiate with Brazil? The Brazilian president, Lula, said he'd like to call you. He requests a conversation. Would you talk to him now? Are
He
you
can talk to me
negotiate?
anytime he wants.
So are you open to tariffs? Are
He
negotiable?
can talk to me anytime he wants.
What is on the table for Brazil?
Well, we'll see what happens, but I love the people of Brazil.
Mr. President, why did you fire the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics?
Because I think her numbers were wrong, just like I thought her numbers were wrong before the election. Days before the election, she came out with these beautiful numbers for Kamala, I guess Biden/Kamala, and she came out with these beautiful numbers trying to get somebody else elected. Then right after the election, I think on the 15th, November 15th, she had an $800,000 or $900,000 massive reduction. Said she made a mistake. No, that woman's numbers are. Say it. Yeah, one of the governors, as you know, of the Federal Reserve has just announced she's resigning. I understand it was over the fact that she disagreed with somebody from her party. She disagreed with Too-Late. You know who Too-Late is? Yeah. She disagreed with Too-Late on the interest rate. So we'll see what happens. But we just found out that I have a open spot on the Federal Reserve Board. I'm very happy about that, Jeff.
On the monthly jobs report, going forward, why should anyone trust the numbers?
Well, that's the big thing. You're right. No, you're right. Why should anybody trust numbers? You go back to election day. Look what happened 2 or 3 days before with massive, wonderful job numbers, trying to get him elected or her elected, trying to get whoever the hell was running. Because you go back, and they came out with numbers that were very favorable to Kamala, okay, to trying to get him elected, trying to get her elected. And then on the 15th of November or thereabouts, they had an $800,000 or $900,000 overstatement reduction right after the election. It didn't work because you know who won, John? I won.
But here's the thing. Your supporters have had issues with these numbers.
I've had issues with the numbers for a long time. But today, we're doing so well. I believe the numbers were phony, just like they were before the election. And there were other times. So you know what I did? I fired her.
Right.
And so you know what? I did the right thing.
If any government official going forward is presenting data or information you don't like, should they fear for their job?
I've always had a problem with these numbers. You know, I was thinking about it this morning. Before the numbers that came out, I said, who is the person that does these numbers? And then they gave me stats about before the election. I had a similar problem. I mean, she gave out numbers that were so good for the Democrats. It was like unbelievable. And then right after the election, she corrected those numbers with, I think, almost 900,000 corrections. I think nobody had ever seen anything like it. Well, today she did the same thing with the 253,000, whatever the number was. No. We need people that we can trust. I mean, your question is a very good one. We need people we can trust.
What about Switzerland? What would you like to see from Switzerland?
You know who you plan to replace her with?
I've got about 3 very good. I have a lot of good candidates. I will say everybody wants it. I've had more phone calls, but I have 3 people that
They actually have a background in labor.
You know, I could do a long-term thing, or I could do a temporary. It's a 14-year term.
Right, but do you put someone in who actually has labor statistics experience?
I'd put somebody in who's going to be honest. I have a choice. I can have 4 months. I can do a short term, or I can do a 14-year deal. So we'll see. We have a lot of people. We get a lot of good people around.
Can I ask you a construction question?
Switzerland. That was a shock. The tariff rate with Switzerland. It was higher than other European.
Well, the problem with Switzerland, we have a $40 billion deficit with Switzerland. And I spoke yesterday to Switzerland, but we have a $40 billion deficit with Switzerland. That's a big deficit.
Question on the construction. Can I ask you a question on the construction? You say you're raising $200 million. You're donating a bunch. Others are as well. Are you blocking foreigners from donating money to build that edition?
Honestly, I never even thought of it, but it doesn't matter. I'm putting up my money, but it doesn't even matter. They've wanted a ballroom at the White House, and it's been very popular. You know, when we put it out
You're
yesterday.
not ruling out that a crown prince or some European
No, I'm not
or
looking.
Asian
I'm not
official would
looking
give
for
money to
that. You know, you have very strong restrictions as to who can donate, and we go by the restrictions.
Are you going to publicize the name of the donors?
It's not a lot of. I mean, it's not that much money.
Will
It's
you
funny,
release
but
the names
Are
of
you
the
gonna
donors?
yeah, I'll do
Did you
that.
hear from Steve Wickoff today?
I didn't even start yet, by the way. But when I do, I'll release
How many
it.
donors do you think it's going to take to get the $200 million?
Maybe one, me. But
You would cut that check yourself.
I would, yeah.
Did you talk to Steve Wickoff today from his journey to Gaza? Did you talk to Steve Wickoff?
I did. I spoke to Steve Wickoff. He had a great meeting with a lot of people, and the primary meeting was on food. And he also had some other conversations that I'll tell you about later. But he had a meeting on getting the people fed, and that's what we want. And I'll see you later on.
In terms of the penalties on India, what numbers are you looking at, and are you going to be having a conversation with...
Well, I understand India no longer is going to be buying oil from Russia. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's right or not, but that's a good step. We'll see what happens.
Welcome to the White House. What an exciting day today. Is everybody having a good time?
白宫导览，神秘嘉宾现身，民众乐坏了。美国总统川普对白宫可是有很多想法。
We've been planning it for a long time. They've wanted a ballroom at the White House for more than 150 years, but there's never been a president that was good at ballrooms. I'm really good.
说到任何大又美的建筑，川普自认绝对是专家。
And we're building a great ballroom at the White House. They never had a real estate person.
在苏格兰与欧盟执委会主席范德赖恩见面时，也忍不住吹嘘一番。
We are proud to announce that the construction of the new White House ballroom, the White House State Ballroom, will be a much-needed and exquisite addition of approximately 90,000 total square feet, with a seated capacity of 650 people.
白宫发言人表示，目前东厅只能容纳约200人，过去办大型活动还得搭帐篷。新宴会厅一完工，容纳人数可增加3倍多。川普梦想中的豪华宴会厅，强调承袭白宫整体基调。不过设计示意图公开，非常川普风，华丽金色吊灯、古典立柱、大理石地板，尽显富丽堂皇。
Now, the White House says this will be funded by President Trump and private donors. They expect that it will be done by the time that he leaves office.
这2亿多美金巨资，钱从哪来？川普说他自掏腰包，再号召金主。而他重新掌权后，已替白宫注入大量奢华元素，金色窗帘、黄金老鹰，各种雕像、饰品务必金光闪闪。这回重金打造新宴会厅，也希望复刻他心爱的海湖庄园，把金碧辉煌贯彻到底。所谓简约美学，在川普这里不成立。三立新闻可以函报道。
当自由贸易沦为海上战场，所有国家元首都成了海盗头目。就在各国暗中较劲的时候，有人横空出世，终结乱局。
Until one pirate flipped the table. The other captains laughed at first. Then they got nervous because he wasn't apologizing. He rolls out tariffs like cannonballs.
网友突发奇想，让美国总统川普化身加勒比海关税大盗，对全球发动攻击。不过，创意十足的背后却是满满讽刺。
Trade can be broken up into two categories: goods and services.
专家直言，川普在4月2号宣布解放日展示的大图版漏洞百出，因为美国在实体商品上看似对多数国家都是逆差，川普却只字未提美国赚得盆满钵满的服务类商品。
The U.S. exported $1.1 trillion in services, a third of our total exports.
事实上，欧盟早就发现，美国虽然制造业江河日下，金融、理财等服务类产品却是蓬勃发展，绝非川普所说，所有人都在占美国便宜。
The U.S. has a trade deficit with the European Union in goods, but the U.S. has a trade surplus in services with the EU.
事实上，包括澳洲、巴西、新加坡等国对美国都是逆差，这次却同样遭到对等关税无差别攻击。可以看出，美国财政赤字不断扩大，已经到了盟友沦为韭菜的地步，也让美国曾签署的14个自由贸易协定秒变废纸。但关税是把双面刃，工作机会增加的同时，物价也会增加。川普既要又要，恐怕只能享受短暂海盗式赢学快感，终究得付出美国经济外交影响力跌落神坛的代价。
This world is full of pirates. But Captain Marga just walked in.
三立新闻综合报道。